Hello, and welcome to Copy That, the series from Quadcast that's all about copywriting. I'm your host, Lewis, and today I'm joined by Suzanne Frear to talk all things copy. Suzanne, thanks so much for being here. It's great to have you on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
I'm so excited. And this is our first in-person recording, which is just so exciting. I mean, that doesn't mean anything to anybody that's listening to this, but it means something to me.
This is exciting. I feel really professional. It's really nice.
Thank you.
I can see you. I can see your eyes and everything.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
It's great. You know, I there's something to be said about recording a podcast in person because I think there's like more of an energy to it.
Absolutely.
It's just fab.
Yeah,
so I'm
so
happy
agree.
you're here in person. Right, so I'm going to get started just with the first thing that I ask everybody, which is, how did you get into copywriting?
So I could go down a really long story with it, but I'll try and shorten it politely. I've always enjoyed writing, always, since being quite young. My dad used to set me tasks to do write stories. He'd give me a title and I'd go off and write a story. So I've always enjoyed it. And I carried on a little bit through sort of education. But as life sort of went on, and back then I didn't really know that I could have a career in writing without being a writer, specifically an author or something, or a script writer. Those things I knew about, but there was so much. I mean, people would have known about them. I just didn't. I didn't come across the information about them. So as the way my life turned, I ended up working as a facilitator and administrator in a European bank in Germany.
As one does.
And I did that for on and off nearly 20 years, about 18 and a half years probably. So I lived in Germany for quite a while, and then when we had children, we moved back here, but I was commuting back over. And during my second maternity, I realised that this wasn't the job that was lighting me up. I knew I was good at it without being, showing off. I could do my job. I was proud of what I did, but it didn't sort of bring me that excitement and joy so much as so when I was in my second maternity, it's like, God, I'm not that bothered about going back. I need to go back because we need to earn some money. Yeah. So I looked around to see what else was out there. And at the time, there was a really great marketing campaign for an online course for social media management. And it talked about like how you don't need marketing experience and you can learn to write in a way that will sell for people and do their social media. So I did that course and quickly found that social media was not for me. I found it hellish.
Yes, I agree. Personal and professional.
But what I did find, it exposed me to people who talked about blogs and website copy and different ways that writing could be used for me to make money. So during that maternity, I did take on a couple of very small time clients, a couple of newsletters, which was really nice, sort of doing them on a monthly basis. And German law being as fantastic as it is, you get 3 unpaid years per child. And because I only used 6 months with my first child, I got 5.5 years off with my second child.
Oh my God.
Exactly. And it is fantastic. And they have to keep a job open for you, available to you. So I had that level of comfort to explore what else I might like to do without sort of giving everything up and taking a leap. So I was able to take on those couple of clients, and I did that for a while. And when I went back to work as well, I still had them just quietly on the side. And then obviously we had the wonders of Brexit and also with the new normal after COVID. So things started to change. I would have needed to have relocated back to Germany to maintain my job, basically, because of certain long and boring things that went into it. And so it just became apparent that unless we were moving back, which we were never going to do, I would unfortunately have to resign from my job. And so I'd started to look on LinkedIn for things, a similar thing in this area, and nothing was bringing me any kind of joy at all. And I knew how much I enjoyed the writing things, and I think it's sort of been bubbling away in the back of my brain for such a while to strike out on my own and to give it a go. Having spoken to those people when I did the social media challenge management training that had gone on to make a business out of it. So to see people creating their own businesses, knowing it was possible, that's what led me to give it a go. So that's where I ended up. That's how I got into copywriting.
Fantastic. It's just like a really roundabout way of just like a lifetime of like, yes, love writing as a passion and as a hobby, and it's great. And, just a 20-year detour in Germany as
Exactly. It was just life experiences. I was gathering it all.
Life experiences. But I feel like the best writers are able to like imbue their life experiences and are able to take things that they've learned through different cultures and different societies and just able to really imbue that into their own work. And
that's what I hope I do. And one of the clients that's been with me longest now is actually a German lady living here in the UK.
Perfect.
And whilst what she does is not related to her nationality or anything, I find that I'm able to talk to her about certain holidays, certain celebrations, and do it in a way that I can come out from an understanding, which has sort of blown her away a little bit. She's an osteopath, which what she does is not necessarily a German thing, but by having that experience, I can bring her tone of voice into it in a far more real way. That she reads her own copy and feels like she's written it herself.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's that cultural appreciation that's able to like really help build a really healthy client working relationship. That's amazing. I love that. So do you think when you were working within banking, obviously you say that you had a few bits and pieces on the side, but was writing always something that was in the back of your mind?
It was always in the back of my mind, but only from the point of view, again, because I loved writing, I assumed that what I should do is write a book. Right. It was never, how do I make an actual like 9-to-5 type career out of it? That never dawned on me, or I never looked into it really. And it wasn't until I started, as I say, looking for the jobs, and I spoke to a friend here in the UK, and she's in communications. And we talked about the fact that actually my skill set, like what I'm very good at, might not be on my CV because of the experience I've had. But I could absolutely do that writing side of a job because I know how to bring a story together. If people ask me to describe myself, it's always storyteller first. I can bring the different elements, make it interesting, give it a beginning, a middle, and an end, and take people on a journey through it. And that's what I pride myself on. And I did have to do that to a certain degree with some of the, not so much reports we wrote within the bank, but, there was always a way you wanted to get people engaged and get people reading the rest of it and moving on to the next page. And so I had been using those skills, but not always recognizing them for what they were. So it took a few, friends around me, like I say, who were in sort of the business world of copy or writing in different ways to say, no, you could do this. This is available to you. It just hadn't been on the cards before. I'd not realised it.
Yeah, just the opportunity hadn't presented itself.
Absolutely, then,
the joys of Brexit and COVID, which, has done the world of good, clearly. It's just, it's really interesting to discuss what life was like pre and post pandemic, because I think it was almost like the great sort of equalizer in terms of making everybody go, you know what, this wasn't the right sort of path for me. And let me go out and do what I want to do. I think for me, it was always like being bombarded with how many people were dying has made me go, life's too short.
Absolutely. So it was totally non-discriminatory. It was just, you'd pass someone, you could in theory pass someone in the street, catch it from them. And if your body wasn't strong enough, it was horrific. So, and it is true, like just looking at it in that way, that life is too short and we should reappraise where we are. And whilst it didn't happen straight away for me, but it did then present an opportunity for me to totally reassess where I was and what I wanted. We've moved around the world in different ways, following my husband's job, which is great. I'm one of those girls that follows the boy. But it's great that he worked hard at university and always wanted this job. And he enjoys what he does. And I respect that for him and I admire that for him. So to follow him around, so to speak, wasn't a sacrifice in any way. It was, how we were building our life together. But it was time for me to take a look and do something for myself. I'd sort of slotted in wherever we'd gone. I'd been lucky and found jobs. I'd worked hard and we'd created a life. But now it's time for me to take a look and see what would bring me joy. I mean, we still talk about it a lot. Like, he's like, well, when are you going to get a real job?
This is a real job.
How dare you? Have you not seen the stickers on my laptop? That makes it real.
The stickers make it real.
Absolutely.
And if you can't respect that, then you can't respect me.
That's it.
So when you decided, like, finally, I'm going to go and do this and I'm going to be a writer and I'm going to work freelance, did you know that there was going to be a particular sort of niche that you wanted to write within, or a particular industry that you were interested in?
No, not at all. Certainly not at that time. I knew very, very little about the solopreneurship, the business world, doing it on your own in any way. And one of the very first things I did was join a coaching community. So it's led by a business coach, but had the community feel attached to it. And that was invaluable to me. I learned so much, and that's when people started talking about, oh, you should niche.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to make your money, you know, by being very specific on who you want to work for. But I also found that I'm a little bit anti-niche. Okay. I am niche in a way. So I had this conversation the other day. Someone said, oh, so who's your ideal client? And whilst that is something I work on with my own clients, I was like, oh yeah, shit, me. I'm not going to do one for myself. And I said, I want to work with people who value great copy, that knows how important it is to make that connection to sell whatever it is. Everyone needs marketing and copywriting if you're doing any kind of business. Yeah. Now, how you come to that, there's many different ways, but it's a requirement. You need it. And I want to work with those people who appreciate the human connection. That's what I sell my services on. I create that human connection through storytelling. And so I'd said this to someone, so, well, you are niching there. You're very specific on that you know that who your people are. It's just not that I'm saying, oh, I only work in tech, or I only work in finance or sport or anything. I got clients from a large range of different industries. And I find that quite helpful for them, that I'm not an expert in their industry, because I'm able to ask the questions they need asking to get the right information out, that people can understand what they're selling and what their point is. That's not to say if someone came to me that was really high tech and needed a certain something, I'd probably say to them, I'm going to recommend someone else to you, because there's certain stuff that I can't learn quickly enough to make it equitable for them. So I have recommended other people for tech stuff, because it's all the acronyms, it's the infinitesimal details that you need. That
it's a whole another language.
Absolutely,
there's not enough hours in the day to be able to learn tech bro language.
Absolutely. So I mean, like I said, I've got an osteopath I work with, numerous aesthetic clinics, a bakery, a photographer. I'm trying to go through my client deck now. Oh, there's a lady who sells antiques in the Outer Hebrides.
Oh, wow.
She's one of my biggest clients. She's fantastic. So, a real broad range. And then I've worked with some charities, and I've worked with an allyship charity down in London, which was fantastic to work with. Just lots of different stuff. And I find it really interesting to pull all that information out, to learn about them. Like I say, I work with a few different aesthetic clinics, so I know a lot about Botox at the moment. So, I'm upping my knowledge.
That's absolutely fantastic. It sounds like it's a healthy range, but also sounds like it's been a lot of fun as well. Like, it doesn't sound like, because, I'm not going to name any sort of industries here, but there are industries that are more interesting to write about than others.
Absolutely.
And, there might be disagree. People would disagree. Agriculture is not my favourite, but that's going to float someone's boat, and absolutely. I applaud that. Yeah. But there's a beauty industry, and
exactly. And one thing I do say is I don't write long reports. I'm not going to do analytics and things like that. I do the creative side of copy, which, because of the storytelling, because of the engagement level of it, it's not to report on things. So there's certain things I do and don't do, but I think I just don't like the word niche. I feel like I don't want to pigeonhole myself too much.
I think niching down, I think, is a really good sort of selling point when you're coming to go to LinkedIn and put out a really generic post that's like, I have written for the beauty industry, or I've written for the agricultural industry. Here are 10 things I've learned. And then, building off of that, just so it's constant content that you can put out. But
Brilliant.
I don't think for anything,
I'm just going to make a note of that. That was really nice. Thanks.
You're welcome. If you want
to, really good at LinkedIn posts.
It's I think for that sort of content that you can just kind of churn out, I think that's helpful, and it's great to be able to go, okay, I've done this and this is my niche, but then the next day go, oh, and I've also done this and this is my other niche.
Absolutely.
And I think there's, for me, the best copywriters are people that are able to adapt and are people that are happy to adapt. And of course, there is comfort zones. And of course, there are things that people aren't going to be the most comfortable writing in.
Yeah.
But as long as you can give it your best go, and if you feel that it's just not within your wheelhouse, recommend another one.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? And that's another thing that came with the community. It's that learning that we're not in competition with each other. I think it's too easy to feel in competition.
Yeah.
Because it's such a natural space to be like, oh, you've got business and I've not, so I'm gonna gatekeep mine. I'm not gonna spread it around, and I must do everything that I'm ever offered because at least then I'm earning money, and someone else is not taking the work. Whereas we can grow so much more and make ourselves available for the work. We can do so much better if we're sharing it.
Yeah.
If you're giving it to that person who can do it better than you, there's no shame in that. That's a wonderful thing. You're doing a better service for someone, and then hopefully you'll then get recommended for the stuff that you are going to excel at. So I think, the community and the not competing is a big part of it for me.
Massively so. I must say that I think freelance copywriters, in-house copywriters, agency copywriters, I think everybody sharing that very same opinion makes a great case for socialism. It's big because it's just so like, share the love, spread the wealth. Everybody should, be happy to make sure that everybody's got the clients that they need and to be able to, put the food on the table and do all of these things.
Absolutely.
I think as creative people, I think that is generally more how we're minded.
I think so.
Being,
yes.
Less selfish and just wanting to help people out. I think it's a really lovely, and I think there is this real sense of community within the copywriter community.
Yes.
That,
I think so as well. And I know we've spoken about this briefly. I put on I co-hosted an event yesterday, which is part of the Copywriters Unite group, which there was the brainchild of Vicky Ross, who decided that, copywriters don't always get represented in a lot of places. It's becoming more so now with awards and stuff and certain groups, but in general, marketing doesn't always think of the copywriters. They're sort of like a support group. So she wanted to just start making free get-togethers aimed at copywriters, but not only for copywriters, for anyone that reads words as well. So I put on the first one for the Warwickshire area yesterday. And I mean, it's a really small, intimate thing. There's like 7 or 8 of us, but it was just so lovely. And everyone was chatting. There was one lady who came along and said, oh God, someone gave me proofreading. I'm in the middle of perimenopause. I couldn't get my way through it. Someone else said, give it to me. I love reading terms and conditions for the gas industry. It was so specific. And she's like, fine, yes, you have it. Take it off me, And it was just a really lovely thing to see, but with a lot of humour tied up in it.
That is fantastic. I think, for the first event for 7 or 8 people to turn up, I think that is... that is a success.
Absolutely,
It's the first of anything. These things grow. These things take time. It's the things don't flower overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's that whole. It's that whole stereotypical phrase of all of those things, but it's true.
Yeah.
And I will have to come to a Warwickshire-based one. That is.
Do come.
That
We'd
would
love
be
to have
fantastic. That's big groups of networking isn't necessarily my wheelhouse, but I'm going to make it my wheelhouse.
You should. It's really nice. We had it in Stratford, so it was nice to come into Stratford for the day and stuff.
Yeah. I love Stratford as well. It's only 20 minutes down the road from here as well, so it'd be stupid not to come.
Exactly.
Lovely. So when you will get started on a piece of copy.
Yes.
What will you like to do? Are you a planner? Do you like to brainstorm? Do you like to just get started? Do you go for a walk? Do you throw spaghetti at the wall? What do you do?
So I do make some notes. I will scribble notes. There will tend to be, especially if it's a first-time client, there will be a lot of notes from when I've spoken to them. Ideally, I'd like to meet them face-to-face. Obviously, it's not always possible. But at least, a call online. Because I need to hear how they speak. Most of the work I do, you could class it as ghostwriting. I do it as if they've written it themselves, especially with newsletters and blogs. It's very much from their point of view. So I do need to know literally how they put words together themselves. So there will be a lot of those notes written down. But really, the very first thing I do is I will just throw everything onto a page. And I have been known to refer to it as the vomit copy because it's literally like word vomit. So you just get everything down. It doesn't make any sense. It's not cohesive, but all the facts should be there. Everything I want to get out that needs to be said, and the main points should be there. And then generally I will walk away for a little while, whatever that means, whether it's working on something else or literally walking away. And then I will come back and start to refine it and work on it and bring it together as a story. But it is just throw everything at a page. So it could be like throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks. Literally that.
So, do you like to write within sort of a narrative structure? What do you like to do? Because obviously there's a storytelling component that we keep coming back to here.
Yes.
So, do you like to write it all in like a 3-act structure? Do you like to get from like point A, B, C? What do you like to do?
Well, so it does depend on the project. But yeah, there is a structure, you know. Generally, there's the introduction that sort of should speak directly to the reader and make a connection straight away. I want them to see themselves in this story that I'm telling, so they can position themselves within it, so they can see what is being sold to them. So even if it's a blog piece about something that's not directly linked to the product or service, there will be a link somewhere. And so I don't want it to be hidden. I don't want it to be metaphorical.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be upfront with people, and so that they can start to either connect with it and engage and go further, or no, this isn't for me, and tap out. And that makes a lot of sense as well. So, and you start with the introduction, however that is, it's putting them in the story. But then it does depend. So if it's a number of things, there's a structure of, if it's more like a sales page, I would take them from the transformation they want to see, what they might have tried before, moving on to what this service or product will do for them, and then how it will look afterwards. And that's when you bring in the sort of testimonials and stuff. So yeah, it builds out like a story. I love The Story Brand by Donald Miller. Have you read that book?
No, I've not heard of it.
It's really very good. It's really pitched at people doing it for themselves. So it's like a how-to book very much, but it makes a lot of sense, and it's out pitching people as the audience is the hero, you're the guide, so they are Luke Skywalker, you're Yoda. That's my favourite thing ever. And you take them on the journey with self-realisation and show them this transformation. So I tend to come at it in that way. Probably differently with, for example, the Osteopaths newsletter. There's no strong journey in there, but there's 4 main sections which all could stand alone. One might be, the weather's changing, it's time, you'll be out in the garden raking your leaves. Fine, you're doing that, so you talk about that, some nice pictures, there's some quotes, but your back might hurt, so you might want to go to the osteopath. And it's literally as simple as that. So you're just bringing it back around to the point, or what's in season whilst you're out in the garden, and then we'll give them a recipe to go with it. You know, so it all sort of comes together around the month that we're talking about. So yeah, I do like to have that main point of a story.
So there's always an arc.
Yes.
Because I think I've referred to this before, and I've had some questions on it following from some episodes where they go, what? So you structure it literally like a screenplay, and I think I've not worded this in the correct way. No, I do not write a screenplay when I'm writing a blog.
This could be you could.
I could if I wanted to, but I don't. But no, I like to structure things in a way where it's like, right, okay, so we need to. The main point needs to be like right at the start, and we need to get like the theme across, and we need to make sure that there's like not necessarily a main character, but there's a main topic at hand.
Yes.
And then we work it through what's like, you know, ups and downs of it. Let's look at the good and the bad of everything. And then at the end, there's a resolution to it.
Exactly.
And that's how I like to resolve things. That's how I like to write. And it's, you know, taken from my screenwriting days and from the amount of films that I've watched and studied over the years. It's, you know, that to me is a really interesting way and fun way to write, and it keeps it interesting and it keeps it fresh for me.
Absolutely.
And
it's human nature. We're built to understand stories.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we were all read to as children. I've said this so many times, and someone always comes to me going, well, there might be that child that didn't get read to and you've not spoken to them, and I feel awful. Yeah. But I mean, in general, we were read to. So we understand that story. Our brain will take it in very quickly. And so by creating copy in that way, you're going to make a quicker connection because people will understand it. Someone said to me, if you confuse them, you'll lose them. So don't mess around with stuff. Get to the point, but take them on that journey because they'll go with you. They want to. They want to find the happy ending. That can be meant in a number of different ways. But, you know, with the happy resolution.
Yes. Everyone wants a happy ending.
Yes, they do.
So when you are starting to write a pice of copy and it's a fresh piece that you're working on, what will you do if you're finding that the words aren't landing?
I guess I will try quite a few times. I would never just walk away from it.
Yeah.
But there could come to a point where it's like, right, this needs to just sit and wait. It's either it's either not right time of day or it's not the right day, one of those things.
Yeah.
And so, yes, there are times then I'll take the dog out for a walk or I'll go and do something else. If I'm really struggling with it, then I will go back and talk again with the client. And it's not so much that I'm not going to do it, but there's obviously something missing. I'm not making a connection myself.
Yeah.
And I'm missing a vital thing. So I'll go back and have another chat with them or really go over all the notes I've got, which is, it's great now. One of the wonderful things about AI is that they'll record your online calls and transcribe it for you. So you can really pick through all those little comments. And there might be just something I've missed that could bring it together for me. I guess that those would be the main things I do is, either walk away and just refresh myself.
Yeah.
Or if it gets to that point, I'll go back and talk again to the client and then start afresh, like remove the old notes and start again properly from fresh, because I'm obviously stuck on something that's not sparking for me.
Yeah.
That would be it.
I found that my current thing is I'll go make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I calm down. And
yes.
there was an old friend of mine, she, her mum once said to her, if you're having a bad day, have a banana and go and stand outside.
Yes.
And it was like, it's the most insane wisdom, but it works.
Absolutely.
Just have a cup of tea, take a little walk.
Yes.
Go for it. Just go and do everything you need to do to make sure that you can be happy, healthy, come back with a positive mindset.
And we put so much pressure on ourselves, don't we? Especially because we're doing it for work. We're doing it because, and someone's relying on us to create something wonderful for them. And so when you're not feeling it come together, you're annoyed at yourself. You become more frustrated. You feel like you're letting them down, you're letting yourself down, and so on and so on. And you can spiral on it. Someone said to me, try and take out the pressure, as in, try and imagine you're not doing it for money. You're not doing it for someone else.
Yeah.
Try and let the words just come. And so again, I might go back to like the vomit copy I talked about. Try not to make any sense. Just get loads and loads of words out and just keep,
go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. I think the hardest thing is to put pen to paper.
Yes.
But as soon as you've done that, I think the words do generally start to flow.
Absolutely.
And yes, of course, there's always going to be writer's block. There's always going to be those sort of mental detractors that are going to stop you from doing it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's, it's the anxiety is that it's not going to be the best thing you've ever written, but surprise, it doesn't need to be the best thing you've ever written.
No.
Not everything needs to be perfect.
No.
It just needs to be something someone said to me not long ago was it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough.
Absolutely.
And that has been like a real sort of game changer for me.
And your good enough could be absolutely bloody perfect for the client.
Yeah.
They could be blown away from it just because it's not like, just the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
The client is still going to be like, well, I couldn't do this. And that's why I've come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
We hold ourselves to quite high standards.
We do hold ourselves to very high standards, but it's remembering that the client has come to you for a reason.
Yeah.
And that reason is because they think you're the best at what
Absolutely,
you do.
Yeah. And they presumably have either had a recommendation or they've seen your work before. So, it's rarely out of the blue they've passed you on the street and say, can you write? There's some backup to it, isn't there? There's a reason for it. So, trust in that.
Yes, trust in yourself, trust in what the client wants, trust in what the client wants. And if the client wants you, brilliant.
Absolutely.
And clearly they want you if they're working with you.
Yes.
There you go. So I mentioned briefly about keeping writing fresh, but I'm wondering, how do you manage to keep your writing feeling fresh, and how do you manage to avoid repetition within your work?
So specifically for clients, I think the time I come up against this might be because I have a few different aesthetic clinics that I work with, and they were all, so I started with one lady and then she recommended me to the others, and one of them in particular often says, well, what are the others writing about? Should I write about the same thing? And I say to her every month, no, I'm not going to tell you what they're writing about. You'll see it before too long if you're on their mailing list.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about you and your clinic and your treatments and what you do. So we always bring it back to them. I think for me to keep it fresh as well, again, is making sure I speak to those ladies themselves.
Yeah.
Specifically, fairly regularly. So once again, I'm getting back in touch with their tone of voice and what they've been up to, just because they might tell me that they went away with a partner last weekend, totally nothing to do with work, but this happened and I saw this new product, or I came across something, and you can see how their brain works and what they're interested in that's linked to work but is slightly outside of it.
Yeah.
And so I can bring that in and I can make those suggestions to them. So it's maintaining a contact with them and seeing what they're up to each time, and that helps me make it different for each of them and keep it fresh for each of them so it doesn't sound the same. You're not regurgitating the same stuff, because they do the same treatments. And so if something's updated and one of them is excited about this new facial pen that has come out, probably the other two have got it as well.
Yeah.
And you don't want... I would never do the same newsletter for all three of them. No. Especially because they all know each other. They're all on each other's newsletter list, so they'll see it. But you wouldn't want that anyway, because they're all within the sort of Oxfordshire, Cotswolds area. So some of their readership might be on the same lists as well, and they'll be getting the same things. So yeah, it's just speaking to them and seeing what else they're up to and bringing in other things from what's going on, not just focusing on in-house stuff.
Yeah, it's that interesting challenge of going, right, okay, you've got different clients within the same sort of space, and yes, you might have gotten to know the space, but you've also gotten to know them and what kind of content works for them and their audience. And while they might be similar audiences, they are still going to be different, and there are going to be, there's going to be cross sections, and there's going to be areas where they differ entirely. So it's trying to work out what it is that works for that particular client.
Well, this is
based on the services and based on their personality.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And aesthetics clinics, there's a lot of them at the moment. People do have a vast choice of them. So there's a reason they've chosen these particular clinics to go to. And part of it will be the lady who runs it. They've bought into her, they get on with her, they like the way she makes conversation, or the other clientele that go there, someone's recommended them. But they're buying into the person so much more than just the service, because they're all fantastic ladies who give a really premium service, and you get great results. So you're buying into the personality at the end of it, and the setting and how it makes you feel afterwards and things like that. So it's, people have that choice. So you have to sort of point out the differences and build on those. Yeah.
It's all different kind of projects that you're able to then look back on and go, yes, I feel like really particularly proud of that, or that feels like a really rewarding one.
Yes.
But are there any that you find that you do feel particularly proud of, regardless of whichever client it is, or throughout your history of working within writing?
Yeah, I mentioned it briefly before. There's an allyship charity in London, and I actually did the work for free because I know the guy that set it up, and he needed help getting it off the ground. But I really believe in what he's doing. It's a gentle way of teaching, but he's just like, he wants people to stand up and stand up for other people, minorities of any type that might get sidelined or don't have a voice for themselves. And it's, like I said, just being an ally for them. And I loved working on that with him to help him get a foothold and get into places. And it made me proud that I was doing something that could really make a difference. And so that was when I enjoyed working on, because for me, it really meant something. Don't get me wrong, I love working with all my clients, but when it's something, it felt like a real social change of a thing, which we don't often get a chance to do.
No.
And that felt very important to me. And so I'm proud of working on that with him. And he's going from strength to strength down there, and he's doing some brilliant stuff.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, it's it's so few and far between that you'll get a project that you really feel like is going to make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the most rewarding. I haven't been lucky enough to feel like I have had a project where it feels, like there is something there that is going to make a countable change in somebody's life.
Exactly. It's not just a sales thing.
Yeah. It's, or, obviously, it's sales, or it's trying to sell an industry or an institution, but it's not like, really speaking out for a community and helping. Absolutely. And truly like helping people, that is,
No, absolutely.
It's an incredible thing. That is really amazing. No. So obviously, that very well could answer my next question, but do you feel that there is a type of work that you do enjoy doing more than others?
It would be that, obviously. Yeah. I think that, because from a self-pride point of view, absolutely. I loved that. I worked with another charity, totally at the different end of the scale. She, the lady I worked with, set up, it's called Global Health Media, and she promotes independent films that have a link in some way to some health crisis. Oh, wow. But it can cover a massive range of things. But these are very low budget, generally, independent films, and she helps to get them shown. Yeah. She also puts on a festival. She used to put on a festival once a year in London, and I think she was trying to get one into America as well, where a lot of them are shown, and then members of the health organisation and different people within some of the bigger hospitals around London would attend and talk through what was shown and how people can create a social change around what's being talked about. And I found that so interesting. And it exposed me to so many films I'd never even considered or come across, or if I'd seen them, I wouldn't have thought much of them. But having access to them, one of the things with the membership is you get sent films quite regularly to take a look at. And you can obviously put more in to help the charity to further it, or you get the links direct to the charities that might be linked to that film in particular, for example. But again, it's that feeling that what you're writing is making a change somewhere. So yeah, I really enjoyed those. I did some case studies with her about people who'd come into the charity as a donator, and had then ended up working within it, and then ended up becoming an ambassador for it. And now they were one of the loudest voices shouting about it. And so I did a few of these case studies and listening to their stories and how they sort of, some of them might have been medical students, because on at least one of the medical programs, spending time within global health film is mandatory for that qualification.
Okay.
And so he'd come to it just as a student and had stayed and worked with it, and now he works within the charity himself. And it's just really interesting speaking to these people and finding out such new important stuff that I wouldn't have known before. I find that fascinating, and I feel it a privilege to be able to learn about those things and still get paid for it. It's not like me just going out and finding it on my own. It sort of comes to me, and I feel very privileged about that.
That is really incredible. I think for me as a inherent film lover, that to me is like the way that we learn about the world is through culture, and the way that we learn about opinions and art and all sorts of things that are happening is through film and is through visual mass media. So that to me is an incredible, really amazing thing that, to have been a part of that. That would be like a dream project for me. So anybody listening,
Jerry, if you're listening, I know someone that might like to talk to you.
I would love to talk to you. So I would love to move away from, kind of the work side of things now to ask you something that is a bit of a meaty topic, where, copywriters, I feel, do tend to have quite similar opinions when asked this question. But I would love to know, what are your sort of takes on AI tools within copywriting?
That is the question of the moment, though, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
I was listening to something the other day. Some great friends of mine have started a podcast, and one of the things that she's a really great copywriter, one of the ladies that does this podcast, and she said she's starting to pivot because she realizes that AI is going to take her job soon.
Right.
And I was quite shocked. I was upset. And I was a bit disappointed with that phrase. I was like, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Some people might say that I'm naive, or I'm, hoping beyond hope that one day the robots won't take over. But I think AI is amazing. I am not techno-minded. I don't know how software works. I couldn't read binary or program anything. That's not me. So the fact that people have created this fascinates me. It amazes me. It's phenomenal. Like, you can put a prompt in and it can write you a 48-page essay on the forgotten characters of World War II, for example. You can put, and it's phenomenal what it can do. What it can't do is fact check itself. It cannot check for bias. It won't speak like you do. It won't write like you do. It can never create a truly human voice like a human can.
Yeah.
It will always be slightly lacking, but I do believe it's a great tool, a fantastic tool. I use it for idea generation sometimes. You were asking before, what do you do if the words don't come? If there's some times when I'm just like, give me an idea, what's another word for this? How could I put this word in a sentence, but it's not making sense here? And I would never copy paste. Please don't ever copy paste from AI. But it will spark something else. You read the sentence it gives you and you're like, God, yeah, that's what I needed. And you can adapt that and use it in your own tone of voice for your own audience in a much better way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's the end of copywriting. I think it's making copywriting harder for finding people. I think a lot of it is free. So businesses are utilising it as they should, but they are missing the failures in it. They're not aware of the problems that can come up. And like I say, there is a bias because it learns from the input it is given, and society is biased.
Yeah.
So it rarely writes inclusively. I did a training on how to use AI for inclusivity, and it is be very specific. Say that this needs to include women, black men, the gay community, people who are in wheelchairs. Talk about those things as much as you can in your prompts, because otherwise it's going for a white man.
Yes.
Middle-class white man, fairly successful, and that's who it's talking to all the time. Also, AI lies and hallucinates. If there's a knowledge gap and you haven't provided it, or it can't find it, it will make it up.
Yeah.
And you won't know that as an average person. You'll read through it and go, oh, this sounds brilliant. You send it out there and someone else goes, that's not true. It's all going to come back on you. So
Yes.
there are massive failings with it still. And I think people need to be very aware of that. And I think that's how I talk to my clients or people who come to me when they're like, well, why should I use you over AI? It's like, because no one can make you sound like a human can.
But no, it's that whole argument of, nobody is going to be able to, no AI tool is ever going to be able to replicate what a human writer is going to be able to do, because human writers bring emotionality, they bring empathy, they bring the whole range of emotions.
Yep.
It's that, for me, I always think about any time that I'm talking about this, it's from the film First Wives Club. And it's it's Goldie Hawn's character, she's an actress in the film. She just screams, I'm an actress. I have all the emotions.
Yes.
Like, that to me is like the perfect.
Oh my God.
That to me is like the perfect analogy,
Yes.
because yes, humans have all the emotions.
Yes.
AI, you only get out of it what you put into it.
Absolutely.
And
humans are random.
Yes.
We will put really weird words next to each other because they work and they're fantastic.
Yes.
AI works to a program.
Yeah.
It finds what the next best word should be. Human brains don't work like that.
No.
And that's how we come up with fantastic phrases and cliches and things that you'd never come up with. Analogies and metaphors. AI can't do that.
No, it simply can't. And it's a sad thing, I think, to watch writers, like your friend who is there saying,
Yeah.
robot's going to take
And she's
the work.
so
And
talented.
I just don't think it's true. I think
Yeah.
AI will be a replacement for bad copywriting.
Yeah.
But it will never be a replacement for good copywriting.
Yeah.
And as long as that is kind of the mentality, I think that copywriters generally, I feel, have tended to band together to go, no, absolutely not. This is not going to be the thing that sort of takes anybody's job, because nobody's going to be able to do the job in any way, shape or form near as well as we can.
And there's no shame in it as well, though. That's the other thing. There's a lot of people talking about, oh my God, I can tell you've written that with AI.
Yeah.
Please, everyone, stop using this phrase. We can tell it's AI. There's a lot of people trying to shame people out of using it, but I get it. It's free. And, running your own business or whatever you're doing, it's bloody hard work. And you do look at saving money as much as possible. I'd just say use it with caution, or use it as an idea generation. Some of my clients do put their brain fart into AI and then send me what AI has written out for them, and I'll take the information from there.
Yeah.
It's their way of making sense of the nonsense they want to get down on page, and that's fine. But don't copy paste it out of there.
No, do not copy and paste. And I don't know whether, for me, I can't rewrite something that AI has generated. I would sooner start from scratch.
Yes.
And because AI will give you this word vomit of just predicting what word is going to come next in any kind of given sentence, any phrase, any paragraph.
Yeah.
Whereas a human is actually going to sit and think about it, but we've discussed that. But it's it's so much harder to sit and rewrite something that was written badly than it is to just start from fresh.
Absolutely.
And, I think that for idea generation, for blog titles, or just for blog structures, even it can be really good. It can be great to just say, please point me in the right direction for some resources, and then you can go and fact check it all yourself. That to me is a great tool for that, because we work with some clients in the science sort of sector, and I am not that way minded at all. Like, it does not come naturally to me, but it does help me to then go, right, please point me in the direction of something to do with milling, and I'll be able to go, right, okay, yes, I can do this, because
exactly.
I've been pointed in the right direction,
where to look for the right stuff,
exactly,
and then you can find those facts and then put those into your words, rather than never ask AI for the facts. Go and find that yourself, because like I say, it will fill in blanks, and it's concerning.
Exactly. I've done it before where I've asked it for facts on like who won which award in what year for this. And it always gets it wrong because even though the information is freely there on Wikipedia and you could just go and search for it, it can't pull it correctly and it struggles. And it's
fascinating. Really boring one I did the other day. I was watching a documentary about The Biggest Loser. Did you ever used to watch The Biggest Loser?
Yes, I did used to watch it. I've not watched the doc yet, though.
No, well, the doc is good. Yeah. I used to really I was terribly obsessed with that program. But one of the trainers is Gillian Michaels, and I remember Gillian Michaels, at the height of her fame, and I wanted to know, where's Gillian Michaels now? And so in I popped it, and I don't know why I decided to do it and I did it in Perplexity, which is a really good resource tool. Yeah. And I thought, where's Gillian Michaels now? And it popped up, Gillian Michaels lives in Canada with her husband, and their 2 kids. And I'm like, I could have sworn I saw pictures of her marrying a lady.
Yeah.
And so then I put it in somewhere else. I think I did just put it into Google, and it's like, yes.
Yeah.
She's happy with her wife, and they've adopted a child. It's like, but these 2 totally opposing things. It's just some other lady called Gillian Michaels at some point has married someone and it's pulled it in as if she's from the one I'm asking. Yeah.
But you're right in saying it caters to that straight white men appeal. It's got a very heteronormative ideology just imbued to it because, of course, those are the people that are generally using these tools. The people that have built them are bound to be straight white men. Yes. The people that are using them more than anybody else and advocating them are straight white men. Yep. And I might be a white man, but I'm certainly not straight. So, it's, I'm here not advocating for usage of it in the same way that others are. But of course, it is something that is here. And I think, we just need to learn to adapt to it and just go, okay, I will happily use it.
Yep.
But with limitations. Don't rent out your brain to it. Because you're losing your own creativity, you're losing your own spark. The more you start to rely on it, the more you will automatically use it. It's like any habit. We will grow it and it will get out of your own control, and you will lose any of your own independent imagination that you ever had before, because you'll know there's a button you can press and go to it. And that would be the greatest loss, that if we all just stopped thinking for ourselves. But that's what could happen, and that's worrying. It's a sad almost reality. I think we do live in a very scary time where there is a lack of critical thinking and critical thought. So I think we are in a period where people are more inclined to use it because it's speeding things up and it's just giving you that instant answer, even though it's not correct. And we want people's other opinions more than we want to kind of have our own now, which is a scary thought.
That is scary.
To have a robot sort of dictating what your opinion should be based on what other people have fed it.
Yeah.
No, there's an element of it that just simply doesn't sit right with me. That's too dystopian.
No, absolutely. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
When you look at how the world is going at the moment and how so many people seem to be just accepting of it because they're not making their own decisions. They're not learning about the facts of what's going on. They're accepting what they're shown on the media. No one's looking into it more. And we're letting things happen. Yeah. It's terrifying.
No, it is. And without getting too political into these things, it is, it's how do you stay, because, it's so incredibly hard to stay politically aware, I think, in this age, because people are so loud now. Yeah. So absolutely. There's nothing that's there as an incentive other than trying to keep the world from exploding.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to find a balanced debate about anything. Yeah. Everything's so biased one way or the other. Yeah. And it's hard to get into that, to find your own place, to make your own decisions and form your own opinions. Yeah. Because there's no equal debate being done anymore.
No. Debate is dead. Yeah. Which,
Oh God. Where did this go?
It's depressing. Anyway, la. So I want to move away from the AI discussion now. I feel like if we sit here and talk about it, we'll be here till Christmas. And as much as I would love that, we don't have enough time in the day. So
I'll come back next week.
Come back next week. So I would love to know, what is a piece of advice that you've received from another writer that has stuck with you?
So one of the biggest ones, and I did say it before, was that if you confuse them, you will lose them. Yeah. And that I use that a lot when I am trying to focus in on something. Don't get too faffy, too beautiful, too babbly about something. You know, speak in straightforward terms, as if you're having a conversation. I wouldn't talk to you in flowery terms face to face like this.
Yeah.
So I use that quite a lot. But I think also, I mean, it's also what you said before, it's just believe in yourself, I think is a big thing, especially working freelance as I do, running my own business. You have to back yourself.
Yeah.
What you can have the greatest coaches, awesome communities. It's wonderful. I think that's very important to have around you. But at the end of the day, you're putting in the hard work. You've got to back yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. No one's going to hand this to you. So celebrate the small wins, celebrate the big wins, of course, but, you know, be there for yourself and just believe in yourself. Don't knock yourself down. Don't talk shite to yourself. Be nice, be kind.
Be your own biggest fan.
Yes, that.
Yes. Yeah.
That.
Advocate for yourself. Be your own biggest fan.
Absolutely.
Be your own best friend.
Yes, all of those.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah. You know, have positive self-esteem.
Yes.
Have such high self-esteem that you confuse it for narcissism. That is.
Yes,
those are the
go
words.
the whole hog.
Those are the words I live by. So. Right. So I would love to know.
Yes.
Do you have any recommendations for things to listen
To
to?
listen
while you write?
to.
So I like to listen to a lot of film scores, as I've said many
yes.
times. Recently, I've been listening to the scores from the Chronicles of Narnia films from the mid-2000s.
Yes.
Because I just think I rewatched them like a couple of months ago, and I've just been thinking about them. So I was like, oh, they were good scores. I've been listening to those while I write. They're always good fun.
Yes.
But what do you like to listen to? What should we be listening to?
So it depends on what I want. But yes, when it comes to scores, I forget the name of the guy who wrote them, and you'll know the music, I'm sure you will, because you enjoy films, from Inception and things like that. Eduardo.
Inception.
So yeah, it's very emotive, like heavy orchestral. It's very beautiful.
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer. What was I thinking? Who's Eduardo? I've totally gone off piste with that one. So that's really great for when I am looking for inspiration. I find that music very inspirational.
Yeah.
It was introduced to me through a manifestation coach, because she was
wow.
like, it'll really get you in the mood. But yeah, I quite like it for sort of the early stages of writing. Once I'm in it, I can listen to anything really loud. It needs to be something I know. Otherwise, I'll try and listen to the words too much. So I can't listen to the radio.
No.
There's too much talking, too many words, too many new songs. If it's an album, like I love to listen to Placebo or something like that, because I know them so well, I don't listen to the words anymore. It's just quite strong, aggressive, and I get
you can just
stuff
have it
done.
on and it's
Absolutely. Otherwise, I will literally ask for study type music, like from Spotify.
Okay.
So it's this apparently it's supposed to work to a certain beat or whatever, and it gets you. I don't know whether that's true. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there's no words, and it's calm and it's gentle, and it helps you focus in. And so, yeah, it depends on what I'm doing, and I do love music in my life. So there's something going on.
Yes. I've always got something blaring in my ears.
I live my life to a soundtrack.
I live my life to a soundtrack. At the minute, I've said this probably in the last 10 episodes, but I'm listening, an audiobook I've been listening to for the second time this year, but the fourth time overall, is Barbra Streisand's memoir from a few years ago.
Oh, is it good?
It's
well, obviously,
clearly. It's a 48-hour long memoir, and
my God!
Yeah, well, the book itself is 1,000 pages.
Wow.
I know, and I'm not
what a woman.
I know, and I'm not even a massive Barbra Streisand fan. Don't get me wrong. You know, some films that she's made, she's got a fantastic voice.
Yes.
But the reason I love it is her very thick Brooklyn accent is so soothing to me for some reason. It is just, it's music to my ears.
Yes.
So I've been listening to it again. And also I think she's lived a very interesting life. So that to me is
absolutely.
It's a fascinating story. It's an interesting time. It's very long, and it's so I think because she writes with this very sort of lyrical way, but it's also so matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's absolutely sensational. Brilliant. And she goes through the decades so specifically, and she clearly has such reverence for the 60s and when she got going, and the 70s when she was at the peak of her powers, and then and throughout the 80s and some troubles, and then it's so densely written.
Yeah.
I would recommend it to
Oh
anybody.
my God, I think I am
as
going to go and
keep
find
doing
it. I'm
But
going to
yeah,
do it.
it's 48 hours is a
a lot.
long time.
I mean, on my free subscription with Spotify, that would at least take me 3 months because you only get 15 hours a month.
Well, yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. So I would recommend it to
That
anybody.
was information you weren't sure you needed.
No, but I know it now. But so I bought the audiobook when it came out because I knew I wasn't ever going to finish reading it. But I like, if it's an autobiography, I like to listen to.
I agree with you. Yes.
I prefer to listen to non-fiction and read fiction.
I'm exactly
So
the same.
I
Yeah,
cannot
self-help
listen to
books I
fiction.
can't read.
Absolutely not.
No, and if I listened to fiction, I wouldn't hear it all. I'd miss it. Whereas I love a book and you can go back and just check and just read it. And yes.
So non-fiction, I can't read it. Whereas I don't know, it's just too, that I can't use my imagination because I know it's happened.
Yeah.
Whereas,
that's so true.
so one of my favourite books is The Exorcist, and I read it generally once a year around this sort of time.
Yeah.
And because it's genuinely quite terrifying, and I've started rereading it.
It's a phenomenal book.
It's just
So
incredible.
much better than the movie.
So, I love the film, but I think it's
good, but-
because the film is one of my favourites. I just absolutely love it. But the book is so emotive,
Yes.
and so
It's
descriptive.
the other layers that you can't get on film, isn't it? It's just,
and it's genuinely because I read it for the first time. My partner and I, we'd gone on holiday and we were in Egypt, and I thought, I'll read it. And I forgot that the first chapter, I don't think it's in Egypt, but it's in, somewhere in the region.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, how far away am I?
I just stepped into it.
I'm in,
Just looking at him in bed like, oh my God.
I'm in the vicinity, I don't like it. So so I recommend to anybody for the millionth time in this podcast.
Yes.
Barbra Streisand's My Name is Barbara and The Exorcist.
Got you.
Love
I recently listened to Viola Davis autobiography.
Yes.
She's got similarly her voice.
So
I didn't want it to
soothing.
end. And she's an angry woman in a good way. She's fought to get where she is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's inspirational, but her voice is just and I find her exceptionally beautiful, and you can see her face talking to you while you're listening to it. She blows me away.
And she's just incredible.
Absolutely
Viola Davis in anything, man.
Yes. She doesn't get the recognition she deserves.
Oh, no.
She needs more.
She's
fantastic.
She's the only one that deserves it.
The only one.
Yeah, there was a great quote from her as she did an interview where she listed off all the awards that she'd got and how she'd been told that she was like a black Meryl Streep and compared to so many people, and she went, okay, you think that's what I am, you pay me what I'm worth.
Yes.
And that to me is that equivalency is so pay the woman what she's worth.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Shocking.
Viola Davis talk. So, Suzanne, this has been absolutely fantastic. I so appreciate you coming into the office and the podcasting studio to actually record in person. This has been so much fun.
I've loved it. I've really loved it.
Well, I'm really glad that you've had a good time. The only thing I can ever hope to promise from these episodes is just giving our guests a good time. So as long as I can record that's all I can.
I hope so.
That means the world to me. So lastly, I just would like to know, it's some time for some shameless self-promotion. Where can people find you and your work and Copywriters Unite and everything that you do and are a part of? Where can everyone find you online?
It's pretty easy to find me. Everything that I have out there on socials and things and my website's all Suzanne Frear. So I have a website, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and it's all just underneath that name. Please do come and find me. I talk about the Copywriters Unite event on LinkedIn and Instagram quite a lot. And I've got a number of different freebies. If people are looking for any help to do some copywriting for themselves, get to know your tone of voice or your ideal client, things like that, and you don't know where to start, if you head over to my website, there are some freebies you can download just to get you started. And then I'd love to hear from you if you need any help in any other way.
Amazing. Well, everybody go and check out Suzanne. She is just simply a delight. So having spent an hour with you, yes, big advocate for you.
Brilliant.
And thanks so much, everybody, for listening. And Suzanne, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you
and
so much.
We will catch you next time.